Alright, welcome back. In this video we're going to take a look at making respawnable items. These are items that after you've picked them up, some period of time later they'll respawn back into the game at the location where they were placed, and they can be picked up again. So that'll all be adjustable and everything for different items. So let's get right to it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, so we have our basic item concept working. We can pick up items. We can see them in our inventory, but those are gone. They've been destroyed in the game, and they won't be coming back unless, of course, we've got a way to drop the item. But some items, like apples, which grow on trees, and we want to be able... I'm going to slow this thing down. We want to be able to have them grow on trees, so we want them to be able to respawn. So up here in our items, where we've got our item base BP, we're going to create a new blueprint class. We're going to base it on item base BP, and we're going to call this respawnable item. So this is an item that when you collect it, it doesn't really go away. And that's why we have this special function that we created called item collected. We're going to need the event tick. We don't need this stuff. We don't need the parent tick. Okay, so we've got event tick. And we're going to override the function in the base class. And the way we're going to do that is here under functions, you'll see this override pull down, and we can come down here and pick. There should be item collected should be here. There it is, item collected. So this is a function we're creating that overrides it. Now here it says item parent item collected. That destroys the item, so we want to not call the parent. By default, the parent's item collected destroys the item. What we're going to want to do is set the item visibility. So what we're going to do is get this static mesh up here, and we're going to call set visibility. Hook that into here, and we're going to set that visibility to false. So the item's going to just disappear. It's not going to be gone from the game. It's still really there. It's just no longer visible. Okay, well, that's great. How does it respawn? Well, we're going to go here and create a couple of variables. They're going to be float. So we're going to pull this down, float. And we're going to have a, call it collected time. Oops, got a Z in there. Collected time. I hit the Z again. We're going to have a min respawn time, and we're going to have a max respawn time. All right, so what are these for? Well, when we collected it, we set the visibility here. What we're going to do now is we're going to call we're going to come out over here and we're going to say get game state. So this game state object isn't something we've talked about, but it contains various things related to the game state, and we're going to make our own at some point in time, but we're not there yet. So right now what we want to do is get world time seconds, and we want to set this collected time there. Okay, so we've set the collected time. We also want to do a branch over here that I forgot about. So let's put a branch. So we only want to call this on a tick if our static mesh, let's get it again, get visible is true. Excuse me. Visible is true. We don't want to call it. We only want to call it on false. Let's break this one. So if it's not visible, oh, excuse me, set visibility. If it is visible, sorry, I was wrong. If visibility is true, then we're going to call this. Otherwise, we're going to call something else off of this. This is where we're going to do our timer. So this is where we're going to call this. We're going to get the collected time, and everything there is good. Let me think about that for a second. It's visible. We just collected it. We set the visibility to false. And we set the collected time. Good. Now it's invisible, so on the next tick, it's going to follow a different path. And what are we going to do? Well, we are again going to get that game state object. And we're going to get the world time in seconds. And we're going to take our... Oh, the next thing we want to do off of here is... So min spawn time, max spawn time. Okay, and now we want a respawn time. And we're going to set the respawn time to a random value that is going to be this world time in seconds that we set here. And we can pull it off of here. We're going to do a get random float in range is what we want. We want this minimum, this maximum, and we want to take this time that we got here, that we set here, add it to this, and that's what we're going to set the respawn time to. Now off this false one over here is where we're going to get this world time in seconds and ask if it's greater than or equal to this respawn time. And we're going to do a branch, and we're going to pull off this false one over here, put it down here, and if that's true, what we're going to do is set static mesh, set visibility to true. We'll make it visible again. Then what we will do is, so now it's visible again, so this will start going through here when item collected is called. Oh, no. I'm going to Control X that and paste it because I forgot we were in this function. So yeah, if it's visible, we will kill it. That's fine. We don't even need to do that because this isn't going to be called if it isn't visible. I thought there was something wrong with my logic there. We don't need to do this here. We need to go back to the event graph, and I'm going to paste those nodes that I just did into here. Setting up this visibility, what we're going to do is we've got that branch. On the event tick, we're going to ask if the static mesh get visibility. Let's move the tick up here. Let me zoom in a little bit. We're going to branch here on visibility again. If it's not visible in this case, we're going to run this routine. And I'll explain this in a little more detail right now. So if this is false, then we're going to set the visibility if the time, so every time this tick runs, it's going to come through here, and if it's not visible is when we're going to run this, because we know it needs to respawn. So we're going to start checking the world time to see if it's greater than that respawn time. And if it is greater than the respawn time, we'll set the visibility. And that's all we really need to do, because once the visibility is set, this is not going to fire anymore on the event tick. It's going to stop right there. So now we should have a respawnable item. And if we go back to here and we open up our Apple blueprint, and we go here to class settings, over here you'll see parent class, item base BP. We want this to become the respawnable item. And that's all we should need to do. Let's save all and see if this works. Save selected. Let's play. Go into first person mode. Come over here. Let's collect. Okay. Did something wrong. It's okay. Apple BP is now a respawnable item. It is respawnable. I did compile and save, right? It's a respawnable item, so there must be a problem with respawnable item. Event tick, well, we're not there, so item collected. Here's our item collected. When this fires, set the visibility to false. On the static mesh, which is inherited. Why isn't that working? Item base. There's item collected. Here's our event graph. Nope, we want the event graph. We want our player character. Comes through here, adds it to the inventory, and it calls item collected. Set the respawn time to a random value. Oh, I know why. It's just immediately becoming visible again, because I didn't set default values for these. Yeah, they're set to 0. Let's set it to 5 and 10 seconds. Very important, sometimes default values. We could set those also on the Apple. I could have set them here. I could have gone to that's the wrong one. Class defaults, default. You see we've got this max respawn for app. You can set them for individual blueprint too, but those are the default values. They're fine for now. Okay, let's save all. Alright, that was a simple fix, simple mistake. Go into here. So it was probably disappearing but reappearing like instantly because of the time. So yep, that went away, that went away, that went away. Let's watch them reappear within about 5 to 10 seconds. They should reappear. There's one, and there's the other two. Let's take them at different intervals. Let's get that one. Let's get that one. Let's get that one. And watch them reappear again. So now we could set that to 3,600 seconds, in which case it would be an hour of game time, which would probably be a couple of days. We could set it to 500 seconds, 1,000 seconds, whatever we want, and they would appear later in the game. As you're moving around, they would reappear. So that is a respawnable item. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. So there you go. We now have a respawnable item. In the next video, we're going to start putting together our actual component for our inventory, and we'll get rid of the cheap little temporary inventory we've got in place now. So Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get notifications when I upload videos, hit that notify button. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.